End of February update. It's only been 3 weeks since the last post, so I don't have new toys. So I went into my drawer just to scrounge around, and I didn't want to get into any of the more involved ones right now because I don't want this to trying to respect your time. So I got some old ones just to kind of, you know, like. And then this, I don't remember where or why I got this, but it's 1, 2, 3 minute hourglass timers. I mean, I loved the concept of it when I saw it, and it has proved not to have much utility. This isn't a toy, but we are onto the drawing phase of the post. This is my Wacom Intuos Pro tablet. I had a Bamboo for a while, the little ones, and it was fine, but this is really nice. It's a nice big one. And a little accident here. My backpack this is in, it has like a clamshell kind of zipper that goes all the way down, and walking on the street, the whole thing opened, and this fell, and I was cursing, and everyone was looking at me. So this is the pen, and you see there's 2 buttons here. Huge. So draw, erase, or like undo. And this back, if you turn it upside down, turns on the eraser tool. So this is like an eraser. Pretty cool, but not as cool as this. This is the little remote that Wacom sells. That now I can, in my hand, I can have, you know, I'm always just having my hand on the undo button because it's drawing, nope, that looks weird, nope. And so now we can do everything here. Getting good at it, it's very exciting. I also brought out my notebook because I'm a madman. And this is, this is 120-page notebook, and it's full. It's full of madman sketches all for this post. This book was bought during this post. Just madman sketches, like, you know, there's just different like characters. Oh look, I played tic-tac-toe with myself one day. We had Mickey. Mickey was a character in the post. He's not anymore. I realized as I'm doing it that Mickey is kind of weird looking. Like, I was like, oh, it's just like this smiley circle, the 3 circles, and then you have a smiley face. I'm like, nope, that doesn't look like Mickey. And then I started like Googling it. I'm like, Mickey is kind of like a weird looking dude, and he's not like as simple. And then when I draw it, he looks really creepy. Like, is this not going to give kids nightmares? This one here, like that is, look at this. So I was like, maybe I'll make him short. Not good. Also, what's the deal with like, I had Mickey's out, but I have other Disney characters in this post. Long story, and you'll understand it when the post comes out. But am I going to get sued for this? This is something I don't know. I'm going to go with it. I feel like if I end up going down in flames because like I have Ursula, I drew Ursula in a post, like that's kind of a funny thing to go down in flames for, so it's fine. The thing I wanted to talk about today, I want to go through a concept from the post at the end of every month, and hopefully this is soon. The post will be out, so then I'll be doing something different with these end of month posts, but we're still in the zone here. So I'm gonna go through another concept that's in the post. About a year ago, or a little less maybe, I did a video where I talked about the how you think ladder, where you know you have the top, you're reasoning like a scientist, where you're starting with a question mark, and then you're going towards truth. And the arrow connecting the question mark to knowledge or truth is your process. That's the sacred arrow. What matters is the integrity of the arrow, not the direction, not where it ends up leading you. And as you go down the ladder, another force starts to creep in. And it's not a purely rational force, and it's not a force whose motivation is the same. So another motivation starts to creep in. Shh. This is Patreon video today, you see? I jumped the gun on my alarm. So you move down, and this other voice starts kicking in that does not care about truth, that doesn't care about getting it right, cares about being right, cares about having their opinions validated. So when that happens, you become more like an attorney. You know already what your outcome is, and now you need to find an evidence trail that leads there that you can use to argue. The very bottom, you don't even need evidence. You're so sure, you're so not concerned with truth. Or, of course, everyone thinks they're concerned with truth, but you've become so delusional that now you're a full zealot and you just think it's obvious that this thing is true. You don't even need, why would you need to argue it? Only, idiots and evil people don't know this is true. And all of us are all up and down this ladder at different parts in our lives. Now, some of us are at the bottom less often than others. But if you think you're never at the bottom, never a zealot or a real attorney thinker about anything, then you're not thinking hard enough about it. And it's usually the people who do it the most that are so sure they never do. So in that section, I introduce a lens. And again, one of the things with this post is there's so much complex stuff going on in society. And it's hard to see it for what it is. We can't zoom out on it like we can on history. So lenses help. Lenses help us look and then say, well, if I look through this lens, does it reveal something? And it's like one of those glasses you put on that filters out one color and you can like suddenly see something else. I don't know. So there's lots of lenses and they come back again and again in this post. But one of the lenses that gets introduced for the first time in this ladder section, because it's about confirmation bias and it's about this process as you move up and down the ladder, is what I call the skepticism spectrum. So this is something to think about. Is this, I can never tell if this is, I think this is backwards for you. What can you do? I don't understand how anyone does this thing. I'm not going to write backwards. So, okay, so I've now changed the order, the direction, because it was backwards for you, and then I realized it looks backwards on my screen, and it's actually not. So now we're back to the original direction. So this is the skepticism spectrum: more skeptical, less skeptical, right? So the way to think about this is, picture in your head, there's like a bouncer, and the bouncer is like the attention bouncer. Like what you have a precious, limited amount of attention to give to things. So first of all, that's a bouncer being like, are we even going to listen to this? That's not what I'm talking about here. There's another bouncer in a smaller house inside the attention house, which is the belief house, just say, right? So this is, there's a little bouncer at that door that's like, okay, well, we've given it attention, but are we going to believe this now? Or you can think of it as like a colander that has filter holes and it lets in some information, but it can tighten those holes. And when you become more skeptical, and it's harder for stuff to get in, or it can loosen those holes. Now, if you're at the top of the ladder and you are so your motivation is truth, then you're going to be, right around here, in the middle. You're going to be consistent. You're going to have a consistent kind of rubric for, you'll vary where you are on this based on the trust of the source. So if I just know that this is the kind of source that in the past has been accurate, so I'm going to loosen the holes. The bouncer's going to just say, oh, you're a regular here, come on in. The other things, if I get a scam email, I've learned that is going to be not true. So the skepticism holes are just going to basically shut that thing out. But for new information, for new people, for new sources, where I don't really have any existing trust or lack of trust, I'm going to keep a pretty consistent filter. I'm going to exercise healthy skepticism. Healthy meaning it's enough to suss out if this is BS, but it's not so much that if this is true, I will still block it out. I will be able to accept the truth and block out the non-truth. That's the idea, at least. That's the goal, is that it's a truth filter. Now, as you move down the ladder, remember, your motivation has become contaminated from truth, and this other kind of forces come in, and you start to believe. You start to be rooting for certain outcomes. You're rooting for your motivation is not necessarily truth anymore, but confirming what you already think. And as that happens, the settings on that bouncer, the settings on this colander, start to, the settings just obey whatever your motivation is. So the settings change. And what happens is, now you tighten the holes or you loosen the holes on the filter based on the content of what's being said, not the source. So it doesn't matter how trashy this publication is. It's saying the right thing. It's on the right side. It's the good guys. It hates the same bad guys. It agrees with me. And I'm so happy they're saying it. No one else is saying it, and they're saying it. Good for them. the holes are wide open. The bouncer's going to say, good, good, good. You're saying the right stuff. Come on in. It doesn't matter. I don't care how you got there. On the other hand, it doesn't matter how reputable the source, doesn't matter how legit information is, if it's disconfirming that belief that you really want to believe, you're going to tighten the colander holes. The bouncer's going to say, no, we don't take your kind of people around here. I don't care who you are. So what I found is, and I started thinking about this when I was actually a talking head in a flat Earth documentary. It's really good. It's called Behind the Curve, Beyond the Curve. It's crazy. There's like 10,000 flat earthers. It's a spicy crowd. And so what I noticed they did, people think, oh, they're so paranoid, right? They think 9/11 was a conspiracy. The moon didn't happen, the moon landing. They think, every single thing is everything you see in the news is all a plan, right? So you think, oh, they're incredibly paranoid. They're overly skeptical. They don't believe anything. They think everyone is lying to them, right? But that's not the whole story. There's other parts in the documentary where you see someone say something like, yeah, you see they're standing on a beach and they're looking over the water, in Vancouver, and they'll say, see those buildings in Seattle, you can see them over the horizon. If the Earth were round, you wouldn't be able to see that. That proves the Earth is flat. Now, someone with a healthy skepticism meter might say, okay, I hear you. Now I'm going to have to go and do some research. How far away are those buildings? What's the curvature of the Earth? Or even just Google, is that true? Right? Even just Google and see if Google has like an obvious answer. But what they do, because it confirms their delicious belief that the Earth is flat, they say, see, there you go, more proof that the Earth is flat. That's it. Where's that paranoia? So the moon landing of course it was staged, but the buildings over there, for sure, the right distance away to not be seen over the thing. This is the skepticism meter spread, you can call it. So when you move down the ladder, the top of the ladder, you have this healthy level here. As you move down the ladder, you don't go here, you don't go here, you go both directions. John Haidt sums this up nicely. He says, when you're over here, you're actually asking, when it's something, instead of just saying, should I believe this, based on its, legitimateness, you're saying, over here, can I believe it? Over here, can I believe it? Is there some way I can kind of convince myself that this is true? Is there any way I can just believe this thing, even if it looks shoddy? You're convincing yourself to believe it. And over here, you're asking, must I believe it? Must I believe this? No, there's some way I cannot believe this, right? You go from should I to can or must. You toggle, and you'll see one of the things you'll notice in this post as I talk about that concept a lot. You'll notice that the more dogmatic you're being, the more motivated you are to be right to get it right, the more toggling you'll start to see. Toggling of reasoning tools, like the skepticism meter, toggling of principles and values. You'll see people all about empathy until it's empathy for the out group, for the group they don't like. Then where does it go? It disappears, because once your motivation changes from humanity to our tribe being better, it's all subconscious motivation. Suddenly your empathy toggles now, just like your skepticism toggles. So toggling is a good sign that there's some other sneaky motivation going on. So something to think about, and we'll do more at the end of next month. So hope the winter is almost over for you too, and I guess it is, unless you're in the southern hemisphere. So that's going to be your issue. Okay, I don't like ending videos. Bye.